And once I asked him, I watched you playing solo on the stage. The way you went somewhere, I really like. What? How was the feeling? Where did you go? Where did you go? Like, he told me actually. Like, he told me while I was playing. He said I was there.
So, welcome, wagwan, yo. Välkommen till ytterligare ett avsnitt av Nikos Spotlight. Sveriges bästa talkshow på YouTube. Idag har vi en fantastisk gäst hela vägen från USA. Han har inte åkt från USA utan han är via Zoom, så har vi honom här. Och han är ingen mindre än Faton Macula. Yay! Thanks, bro. Thanks a lot for being here. I'm so grateful, and I'm so honored for you to be here. Thank you.
My pleasure, my brother. My pleasure.
So for those who don't know you, you're originally from Kosovo, right?
Mitrovica, Kosovo. Yes.
Yes, Mitrovica, Kosovo, and you moved to the States like just after the war, right? Maybe 2002, 2003.
2002, I moved to New York. Yeah.
Yeah. And how's the jazz scene over in New York right now with the COVID and everything?
I mean, jazz. The only reason why I moved to New York is because of the jazz scene.
Yeah.
And I always dreamed about being in New York since I was 8 years old, because I watched all the legends like Charlie Parker, Miles Davis, John Coltrane. All they made it here, and for me it was the dream just to be here where they were.
Wow.
So after I studied in Austria and I master's degree in jazz in Austria, jazz guitar, I came back to Kosovo. I stayed like 2 years.
Yeah.
Made some albums and songs, and then I just got invited from my mentor Marc Whitfield, who actually invited me way before, but this time we were getting more in touch. And then I just came. I couldn't wait anymore because I wanted to really be here, because it was very important to me and my life to be in New York City as a jazz musician.
Yeah.
Now it's actually now it's getting back to a little bit into normality in New York.
Yeah.
But till here it was really tough for artists, not only musicians, period, artists, actors. Yeah. So now we're getting back to track.
Yeah. And the gigs are starting up again?
Yeah.
And today you're fully booked, and it's so awesome that you made the time to be with me and with our followers, my followers.
Thank you for the invitation. My pleasure. And that's why I didn't want to miss your show. And but it's a totally packed day, so I hate to get up in the morning. Yeah. So this is good. I feel good.
So for those that do not know jazz, jazz has its roots in, I don't know, tell me about jazz. Why is jazz so, because you've talked about the spontaneous things, that you like spontaneity. And I've been to a jazz session in Paris, France. Right. Sunset and Sunrise is the jazz place. And it was freaking awesome. But those who do not know jazz, what would you tell them to pick up jazz? Because jazz is an art form, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For me, it's an art form and a lifestyle.
Wow.
It's definitely for me life. I cannot really define what jazz is, except it is improvisation, period. But that improvisation comes from me as a lifestyle, my life, how I with my family, my friends, my everything. It comes in the end. I express myself through that.
Wow.
So for me, that's what is jazz for me. There's not a real definition of what really jazz is. I mean, it's for me one of the highest or the highest form of music.
Wow.
Because the way you improvise, you have to come up on the spot. There's no to reading charts, all of that, to read notes. Classical musician, I love classical music, but classical musician, they have notes, so you have to stick to that. Jazz is you play melody and then you out somewhere, you go in a different dimension.
Wow.
That different dimension is for me is part of life. How I was with my friends, with my family, with my everything, what I did during the day, my week, my life, it comes, pain, happiness comes through that.
Wow.
So that's what it is. And so when you hear something really good, when you're in the jazz club, somebody who touches you, doesn't matter, it has a big name or not name, or you can really play whatever, saxophone, trumpet, guitar, piano. But if it touches you, there's something for me that's deeper on than just like, oh, it's deeper than that. For me, when I hear somebody that touches me, I know there's more than just that, what I'm just hearing. So that's why I fell in love with jazz in the first place. When I heard Miles Davis when I was younger, I was like, what is this that gives me that different kind of it's not really a goosebump when you hear, but it's different kind of goosebumps. Then
it touches your soul, right? It touches your core.
Absolutely. But when I found out, then when you watch the life of Miles Davis, how much pain he went through and how much this, and then I was like, oh. So it's part of life. It's a lifestyle. There's no way I will explain more other than that. It's a lifestyle for me.
Because you hear certain like painters, and you hear about football stars, because I'm a huge soccer star. In the US, you call it soccer, but here in Europe, we call it football. But you do too, because you're from Kosovo. So, but me playing football, I could get into the zone, and I didn't know what I was doing at the moment. And people were like, "Whoa, what the flip did you just do?" And I can really relate to that. That you're in the zone, you don't know what you're doing, and you're just playing with heart, right?
Yeah, but I see what you're saying. That's can be part of it. Very true when you're. But I think music is a different space.
Yeah.
Take for example, if you listen to some music that makes you, when you watch soccer, one of the best soccer players you watch, from Messi or whatever, they don't put you in a place that dimension that you close your eyes, you're like, oh wow, where am I? When you listen to the music, something you really like, makes you something deep inside that makes you like. So that's a little the art of music art is as an art is really special for me. Now I'm not talking like, I really like every kind of good music. It doesn't have to be only jazz. I always like good music.
Yeah,
jazz is first love, but I really like good R&B. I really like good pop music. I really like good rock music. But not anything just BS, but good music.
Yeah.
And nowadays even before that, many people who really just they're BSing on the instrument or music, but there are a lot of beautiful music and singers or instrumentalists all over.
Because I can imagine you being in the flow. Then you have the drummer, he's in the flow. And then you have the singer, she's in the flow. And then you have the saxophone player, he's in the flow. So you have to combine your flow, my flow, this guy's flow, this guy, and that's the artistry, right? And how you can tap into that. You can tap
all that energy in one stage.
Wow.
So here's the example. There's this legendary guitar player called Pat Martino.
Yeah,
he's one of my all-time favorites. I grew up listening to him, and finally, after when I moved to New York, I had a chance actually to really hang out with him, like hanging out one-on-one, private. So, and to really spend time with him. And once I asked him, like I watched you playing solo on the stage. The way you went somewhere, I really like. What? How was the feeling? Where did you go? Like, he told me actually. He told me while I was playing. He said I was there. He told me. Like,
wow.
What?
He was watching himself.
He was watching. He said that's what he said. I was like,
wow.
I was that time. I had a goosebump when he told me that. He said when I played, he said I was right there.
Wow.
Said, so I was watching myself. So that's kind of weird shit, motherfucker. So wow, I was like, but I can relate to that because that's why I said music puts you. Soccer, of course, is art, but what music does is way deeper than anything else.
Yes.
For example, painting is art, or beautiful. It can put you in the zone. It can be all of that. Even paint, when they get motivated, they put some music behind.
Yes.
Or classical opera music behind.
Yes.
And then they start playing. And that because that feeling of the that music puts you, makes you express yourself.
Wow.
So every time you see an artist that it touches you deep, you should like deep, not just like, oh, I really like this song. No, something that touches you, puts you somewhere. That artist must be something special because he went through some crazy happiness, good, all of that.
Yeah. Wow. So interesting. And how has that, because everything is a part of evolution, right? Nothing stays stagnant, nothing stays static. So how has this what you're trying to convey here to the viewers, this creative force, maybe you've seen Star Wars, may the force be with you kind of thing. How is that involved in today's music? Because nowadays a kid can sit, my son can sit at a computer, he can sample Miles Davis, he can sample John Coltrane, he can sample Faton Macula, but this force that you're talking about, it's not there, right? It may be there, but it's something missing. Don't you agree?
I agree. I had a few interviews last few days, and the question was, Faton, what do you think? Is this social media good for this music and all that kind of thing? And I think there were always these kind of people who sample things, even back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, the people sample things, that did things like that. But the way they sample it, they were very artistically.
Yeah.
Nowadays they're doing just for whatever. Like you said, even your son can do something quick.
Yeah.
But of course you have to be careful because now with everybody lawsuit, because big time, which I agree. Because if you want to sample somebody, I'd be rather just to ask me and we can work it out easy for everything. Take it like that and just to use it is kind of not fair because anyway. But also I really think this social media thing made many young musicians lazy. Mm-hmm. I really think because they make it too much easier. Because for me to watch George Benson to play guitar back in the day, I had to order from Belgrade AVH. So I had to wait like 3 weeks just to come VHS to watch 1 hour George Benson. Nowadays, you can go to YouTube, you stick right there, you can have it. Mm. So everything is so easy, but that's why they practice less. Mm. And everything is so robotic. And I see some musicians, like they're playing, technically they're playing really great, but it doesn't come from the heart. Yeah. And they're playing with this and not with this. And that kind of confuses me, and I don't know if it's really good. So between all this, I think it's a little bit dangerous where the music is going nowadays. Mm-hmm.
On a personal note, Faton, what are your projects right now? What are you involved in right now? Do you have any solo projects? Do you have any?
I've been working on my 2 projects for like the last 2 years, or even more actually. And one is like pop and R&B with many big stars from Kosovo and Shakira, mm-hmm. and stars from New York City. Mm-hmm. And my other project is straight up jazz with the organ trio, organ, drums, and guitar. Yeah. And there's some very known jazz musicians who will be guest 1 or 2. But, these are, because I'm very, very, very anal when it comes to this music. I'm very, so that's why it's taking so long, because it has to be perfect in a, because when I perform live, I let it loose, everything cool. Yeah. And when it's because the record's gonna stay forever. So I like to be how I really, really want. When I think it's really ready, then I say I'll put it outside. Out there. But so I'm working on it, and it's getting slowly to where I want to.
So you're more of a perfectionist when it comes to your solo album.
I'm very, 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 I criticize myself a lot. I'm very no, this is I do it again. No, I'm very bad with this.
But you're working on a solo kind of project, right?
Not being like no solo guitar, but it's a project Faton Macula
with different artists. Featuring this and this and that. Yeah.
The ones when I do with some really known Albanian singers, and it's gonna be really some twist. I twisted. I took all those stars from Kosovo, Albanian period. Yeah. I took them in a different kind of challenge for them. Yeah. Because they never sang the vibe that I like.
Yeah.
So for them to sing that what I send them to do, it's a big challenge. It came out amazing.
Wow.
You guys will be surprised. Some famous singers from Albania and Kosovo, how they pulled it off. You will be really surprised.
Because I've been seeing on your Instagram feed that you're closely working with Dafina Zeqiri. She's one of the artists that it's really coming several times to you. But what are you working on right at this moment that's going to be released soon, that people can keep an eye out on for?
Well, if you're talking about soon, like next month, there's a song, probably you know the song, the very old song, Albanian song called Era.
Yeah.
Era, it's from, what's the group? Mary J Blidge, Era. Anyway, so it's a famous song, Era. And it was very famous in the 80s. Yeah. So there's a female singer, a very famous female singer from Albania, from Tirana. Her name is Mira Konci.
Okay.
And we just finished a duet, just guitar and vocals. Yeah, it came out ridiculous.
Bomb.
It was so good. I promise that if that made me go to this dimension, I promise it's going to make people go through.
Wow.
Because hearing myself and hearing her, only guitar and vocals, it's just amazing. And the video, actually, we're shooting the video next month. So we finished the recording, the video is coming next month. I cannot wait to send it to you.
Yay, it's going to be so freaking awesome. Freaking awesome.
Yes.
I'm so delighted. Faton, now we're going to go into another part of the show that I call Curiosa. I have like a jar. I was trying to make some cards, right? I went to a website. It was so awkward. I went to a website and I was going to do these questions on cards, right? So I was so quick on doing these cards and they turned out to be like this big. I was so stressful. I was trying to make it really professional.
Very good idea.
Yeah, but it turned out I have it here, but they turned out like this big. So I'm going to redo them, but I'm going to draw some cards, some questions here, and these questions you can answer them if you want to, and you can also say pass, whatever you feel like.
Perfect.
So, what's the most romantic thing that you've ever done?
Most romantic thing that I've ever done?
Yes.
Ooh. Most romantic thing that I do every day for my wife is I help her clean up every day. I wash the dishes, I clean up the apartment, all of that to help her out. I think is pretty romantic.
So if I talk to her and I ask her, okay, do you feel that Faton is being romantic while him cleaning up? Do you think she's going to say yes?
I'm by default very romantic guy.
Okay.
I can tell my wife, even after 15 years, I can tell her every day. I do tell her every day that I love her when I'm outside the house.
Yes.
So every time I go outside, I tell her, don't forget how much I love you.
Yes.
That's every day. Even when I'm in a recording studio, I tell her that all the time.
Okay.
But sometimes you have to put it in action. And I'll grow up with 4 women in my life. I don't have a brother. I have 3 sisters and my mother. So I grew up really to respect a woman at a different level.
Yes.
So I know how much it takes a woman to when they in a house and all that. So my wife, I really like to help. Some people have problem with the macho attitude with helping the wife.
Yeah.
Of course, if I work or have to study music, no. But if I have the free time, which I do have sometimes during the day, I really like to take care of whatever to make it easier for her.
Wow. So these simple things in life, or these things that are maybe taken for granted, that we do them out of love, right? That's the romance of it all, right?
Both love and respect. People really, you have to respect each other and love each other. Love has to be there because it doesn't work without it. But it has to be respect too. And then if I get the same thing from my wife, respect and love, and I see that she's doing everything possible to. I first personally, with my morals, with how I grew up, I cannot let it just like stay, watch TV, NBA.
And take her for granted, right?
no, she could do dishes, she do breakfast, lunch, dinner. No. I don't do that. I like to take care of my wife.
Yes.
I like to not stress.
Wow. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So the next question here is, wow. If you could spend like 2 hours with whomever, whether they're dead or alive, who would that person be?
Wow.
Yeah.
2 hours?
2 hours. On the dot. 2 hours.
Wow, that's crazy question. There's
give
so
me
many.
A crazy answer.
There's so many. I have to come up with fast one.
Yeah.
I really would like to spend time with Miles Davis.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because alhamdulillah, my parents are alive. Everybody that I love a lot are alive. But since that, I really think Miles or John Coltrane, these people, the way they understood music, that's what I fell in love with. I would like to just stay one-on-one with them. 2 hours, perfect. I would like to stay one-on-one.
Wow,
just
Miles Davis.
To observe something in a different way, yeah.
Wow. Next question.
Mm-hmm.
What's the worst thing that you've ever spilled on someone?
That I what?
Spilled. You know,
Spilled?
Yeah, like water or whatever.
Pasta sauce.
Tell me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it was like in a restaurant, and they put in there somehow when I was twisting the spaghetti, and they started to stick to the sauce. They went to the shirt, and the shirt was kind of white, so that was pretty messed up. But yeah.
Wow.
Pretty messed up.
I don't know if you've ever been to a Japanese restaurant.
No, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I was working as a waiter back in the day at a Japanese restaurant, but this chef he had a 1-star in Guide Michelin, and he had these crazy boats with sashimi with whatever, you know. And guess what I did? I dropped the boat on the guests, you know, everything, every fish on the boat, and wasabi and blah, blah, blah. It all came, you know. Oh my God, I felt so ashamed. I was so ashamed. That's the worst thing.
Worse than mine, bro.
So pasta sauce, yeah, that's crazy too.
That's way worse than mine.
So this question is when was the first, how old were you when you had your first slow dance? You know, when you dance, how old were you?
Wow. Maybe 10.
10? Wow. Do you remember? 10. Do you remember the setting? Do you remember the?
It kind of was. It was this. It was this. Actually, wow! I remember it. Actually, it was this place called Speak Easy in Mitrovica.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 11, not 11. It was this place called Speak Easy, and somehow I was too young, but the owner knew somehow. Mitrovica was small, we knew each other, so they let me in, and so there was a birthday party for like somebody who was 12 years old for some kids, and I was invited too. So that's what happened.
Wow. Do you remember the girl's name?
Yeah.
Really? Wow. So Ibadete, he still remembers your slow dance.
Sure. We're still,
you're still connected, right?
Instagram, yeah, of course.
Oh, wow. Do you remember the song?
Oh, no.
No.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
It's from Cool of the Gang. Cherish the love is that. It's called Cherish.
Yeah, Cherish the yeah, right. I know that one. That one.
You see what a memory I have, huh?
Yes. When you're touched by a song, then it sticks, right?
No. I don't know, for something I have a great memories. For something I'm like, I guess for some important things I do remember.
You're a great sport with these questions. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you. There's another segment of this show that I'm calling "Guess the Need." What would you say is the most important thing in your role in your role as a parent? What's the most important thing in your role as a parent?
The most important thing?
Yeah. What do you value in your role as a parent?
Honesty.
Oh. So you would like to be honest towards your children, and your children needs to be honest.
For me, that's one of the first keys. Like of course, like I said, we're not talking about the love. The love should be default. But I'm talking about the honesty. Is very important for me.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And if you could try and. What is the most important for you as a jazz artist? We talked about this being in the zone and everything. What do you value most in your role as a jazz musician or as an artist?
Honestly, like what you're asking are a really good question. The thing is that it's really not easy to be an. Now we're talking for myself, jazz musician, or just because to live only from music is something that you have really to love something too much.
Yeah.
So for me, I have to stay inspired. I will use the word inspired and motivated.
Wow.
And for me, that's very important because that every time I lose the path a little bit, if you're a little bit down or something, I remember why I fell in love with this thing. First of all, the moment I remember why I fell in love with it, I remember right away I go back to the track and being good because I'm Albanian who came to the biggest city in the world for jazz. There's a lot of challenges and like competition is the highest level. And I'm making a living feeding my family only with a guitar.
Mm.
That's not being a New Yorker. That's something that many Americans here are jazz musicians, known jazz musicians, tell me like for them, I am inspiration.
Mm.
And for me, that's the bottom line. Everything for me goes to motivation, inspiration when it comes to as a jazz musician.
Wow. And I bet you that there will be, maybe not within a week or two, but because this video is going to be out there, on YouTube, and somewhere along the line, somebody's going to Google Faton Macula, and they're going to be inspired by the things that you say and by the things that you've done. So if you not right now saying as a jazz artist that you're the thing that really drives you the most is being motivated, staying maybe hungry as well, and feeling inspired by the things that you're doing, and that may help this young guy or girl to reach that level that you're in right now, because you've reached a level of fame that's it's remarkable what you reach, Faton. And I don't know if you take it to heart.
Yeah, it's very honestly, it's not hard if you really love it, because I'm very hard on myself.
Yeah,
I don't take things. When people tell me but I still practice every day, no matter how busy I am. Example, right now, after I finish this interview and everything, I'm gonna go practice till I get ready to go to the gig, because I practice every day 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
So I'm really hard on myself and I succeeded to wherever you call success or whatever to this point, because I really never took everything easy. I was like, okay, now I was never comfortable.
Mm.
But the moment you're comfortable, you're gonna screw up.
Yeah.
So you cannot get comfortable no matter how much you think you know, because you never really know the whole thing. I will never know music. For me, it was how I realized this. One of the biggest jazz guitarists in the world. His name was Joe Pass, legend. He died 1995. So they asked him, "Yo, Joe, you are because he was the first one who played bass, rhythm, and solo at the same time. He had 4 albums like that. He was virtuoso, amazing. So they asked him you now what, you know the whole guitar now. So what is next? He said, no. He said, I need one more life. I need one. At that time, he was 66. He said, I need one more life to learn the whole guitar.
Wow.
So when I heard that, I was like, wow, that's kind of depressing at the moment for me, because like this guy who knows the guitar, who the whole world knows back and forth the guitar, he said he needs one more life.
Wow.
But like, after that, I understood actually what he meant is really, you have to really always stay hungry, what you said.
Yes.
So you always have to stay hungry, no matter what you do. I actually admire you, what you're doing. It is really cool what you're doing. And it's really cool. And you are dedicated. I can see you get your son involved. You got that's for me that I call motivation. You inspire yourself. That's you look for inspiration, motivation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So I think it's a great idea, and that's what I do for myself. Of course, my kids inspire me, and so it's not only my kids. I always have to go back to what I started to, why I'm doing this, because you have tough moments like, oh damn, this and that. But when you realize that, oh my God, you love what you do and all that, it really comes to this, everything comes like, oh, okay, cool, good. And then you're back on the track. And many people, they think they start the career, they think that that's what they love to do, but then they change and all that. That's fine. That's fine, because you always search for something that really is good for you.
So what I'm also hearing is this guy who's been a legend, maybe not a wonder, maybe a guy that's, and still be that humble and say that, hey, I may be the master of this guitar thing, but hey, I'm humble enough to say that I maybe you see me as a master, but I feel that I need another lifetime to master this. So humility, maybe humility, is that the right word? To stay humble.
Humble, I absolutely agree, because if you really, listen, many people sometimes thought that they don't know me, that I'm cocky.
Yeah.
And that I was never cocky or never, I was always humble, because I just like to be humble. I cannot be cocky. The only people I'm cocky with, if somebody tries to be really smart ass with me or cocky with me, I'm like, no reason. Then I'm not even cocky. I just don't pay attention to you.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
But really, like, humbleness is one of the key that makes you happy.
Yeah.
Inside, you feel peaceful. Like you feel, the moment you're humble with everybody, it's different kind of vibes, different kind of feeling.
So besides staying motivated, feeling inspired, then being humble, but I was also picking up some other thing, and you might correct me if I'm wrong here, but that you need to be to not to be stuck in your mindset, but to stay open for change, to stay open for different outputs, inputs, whatever. Because if you're staying like stagnant and say, hey, this is the only thing I want, and I'm not going to change for anybody, then you're screwed, right?
Absolutely, man. Listen, we were created, and we are to enjoy this life with good things, man. Yes. This is, just do everything, do it with love, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
We all, nobody came alive from this world, right?
Yeah.
So just enjoy this time that you have.
Yes.
Every time you have, just enjoy it. So why to not enjoy with something that makes fun, makes you happy? Why not?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yay!
Look at you. You're enjoying it.
I'm relishing. I've done so many things in my life, Faton, but I've never been in the zone as much as I've been doing these things. You know.
This is exactly your example of what I was talking right now all the time, because you find yourself now here, because next thing you add things, or whatever you're doing, you're going to add other things.
Faton, so grateful for being a big sport on this, and keep an eye out for ERA. It's going to be in Albanian, though, right?
ERA, pause.
Yeah. So I'm gonna switch to the Albanian. Ju që keni shqyquar deri tash, Faton Macula nga New Yorku I Amerikës, Shtetet e Bashkuara të Amerikës. E ka një këngë që vjen së shpejti, e kanë bojnë incizimin, mrena mujt ta bojnë edhe do me thonë videospotin. Do të mund ta shiqoni nëpër kanalet e YouTube-it. Edhe gëzohem shumë që ke marrë pjesë atë Faton. Edhe shumë faleminderit.
Dëshiroj shumë sukses. I wish you all the best in your show. I think you're doing great.
Thank you.
You have really good questions. You're like now pro.
Thank you so much, Faton, and good luck on your gigs today.
My man, thank you, and I wish you all the best. And so we keep in touch.
Inshallah. And you're doing you're fasting?
Yeah, of course.
So there are not many days left?
No, Wednesday's done.
Yeah. So
Wednesday.
I pray to Allah that He accepts your fasting and that He's accepting your prayers as well.
Amin, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, my brother.
Bye.
Bye.